Tuesday. So the setup today is we're going to have our warm-up is our 6 touches from blue to white. So it's touch a line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to do that beginning, middle, and end. Then we have our 2 circuits that we are going to do. If you're on circuit 1, you're going to stay there for 20 minutes. And then at 20 minutes, we're going to run again and then switch circuits, and then you'll do circuit, whatever the second circuit is, for 20 minutes. Circuit 1, the first 2 moves are in the room. We're starting with a banded plyo press. So the handle bands are on the rack. You're facing away from the rack. You're going to start with the band with a little bit of tension on the band and the same foot forward so that when you step, and press, you're opposite, okay? So at the top of this move, you should have, if the band is in your right hand, it should be in your left foot forward, and then come back and press, and come back and press. And you're gonna do that. You have 10 to 12 on each side. So you're trying to keep that band from pulling you back as you what's the word I'm looking for? Go back, whatever. Okay, and then extend forward, okay? Then the second move in there is a split stance barbell bent over row. So we're in a split stance. So I'm gonna do 5 to 6 with my right foot forward, and it's a bent over row. So I'm gonna grab that barbell, okay, and I'm in this bent over position. I'm making sure that my core is pulled in nice and tight, my back is flat, and my shoulders are pulled down away from my ears, and I'm gonna row that barbell back into my hips for 5 to 6, and then stand up, switch your feet, okay, and then row that barbell back into those hips again. You can, if you want, just let that barbell go down to the ground and then pull it up, or you can keep it and row kind of more consecutively. So you decide how you want to do that. Just make sure that when you're rowing, you're not getting this form through your back. You want to sit that back nice and flat, pull those shoulders down and those lats back so that you're pulling with those lats. You have 5 to 6 on each side. Then we come out here and we have a traveling kettlebell swing toss. So today, we're swing tossing. We don't need to think of covering a huge distance. These can be just little steps. But as you step with one foot, you're swinging with the other. So I'm stepping forward and swinging, letting that hinge, let that kettlebell swing, okay? And you're gonna go forward, and then you're gonna do the same thing back, okay? Opposite hand and foot. So if I'm swinging with my right hand, my left foot's forward, okay? Then I switch. If I swing with my left hand, my right foot is forward. So you're always contralateral in that one. That is 8 each. So you're gonna go 8 forward, 8 back. Again, we're not trying to cover a huge distance, especially when you go back. Small, controlled steps will allow you to get a good hinge and not use your back during that. Then we have banded mountain climbers, which are more just like banded knee tucks than they are mountain climbers, because we're gonna go pretty slow with these today. So the band is gonna be around the top of our feet, okay? We're gonna be in that plank position. So I'm trying to pull, again, drawing those shoulders away from my ears so I'm not shrugging, pulling that core in, and then I'm bringing that knee in nice and slow, inhaling, exhaling as I come in. So your inhales as you go out, exhales as you come in. And so when you're exhaling, you're pulling that core all the way in. So it's almost like a full crunch when that knee comes in. So you got 20 of those. Each side is a rep. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 total. Then we have an agility scissor pass with a lateral grapevine. So if I'm going to my left, it's gonna be my left foot leading. Okay, you're gonna go all the way down, hit the end of the ladder, and then you're gonna do an over, under, grapevine, come back doing the grapevine, and then when you get here, do the ladder again, and you're gonna do that just once, okay? So scissor pass, grapevine, grapevine, scissor pass, just once, okay? Over here on this board, we have a reverse plank with an alternating leg raise. So this feels a little awkward at first, but it makes sense, okay? So we're in that reverse plank position where we're driving our heels, but we're trying to straighten our legs out in front of us as much as possible, okay? And from here, our hands are gonna be straight above our head, and as I take my right hand back, my right leg raises and then comes back down, okay? And then I switch, left leg goes up, left hand goes back, and then I come back to center here, okay? I'm driving, my toes during this should be pointing up, and I'm driving the pressure and the stability through my hamstrings and through that glute, okay? So we're here, and as soon as this leg comes off, I wanna make sure that I'm pushing even harder on the stabilizing leg so that my hips aren't shifting or moving. I wanna be able to lift that leg and have a nice, solid transition between my feet, okay? So, if that plank starts to hurt your back, you can just walk your feet in, and you can even be in more of like a bridge position while you're doing that, okay? Just make sure that you're paying attention to driving that weight through the heel of your foot as you switch legs. So you have 10 to 12, you're alternating, so it's gonna be basically 5 or 6 on each side. Then we have a split stance dumbbell deadlift. So we're here. This is gonna be more of a straight leg Romanian kind of deadlift because we're in our split stance. If my right foot is forward, the weight is in my left hand, and I'm gonna go down to the ground trying to get that tension in that hamstring of the stabilizing leg, and then come all the way up and squeezing that glute at the top. And then same thing. I'm not rounding my back and bending down. I'm thinking of hinging at my waist and sitting into that hip socket and then pulling straight, okay? So you've got 8 to 10 on each side of that. Then we have, and I think this was a little confusing at 5, because it's a reverse lunge. How did she even word it? Okay, dumbbell reverse lunge clean into a step and press. So we're in a kneeling position to start, in like a reverse lunge kneeling position. You're gonna clean all the way to your shoulder from here. So you're here, okay, you're gonna clean it to here, and then you're gonna step all the way through and press that dumbbell over. And then come back down, come back to the ground, clean that dumbbell, step and press, okay? What we want to avoid, and what I think we saw at 5, was that people were cleaning as they were coming up and then stepping and pressing. We want that clean to be completed in this reverse lunge kneeling position before you go to stand up. So on the opposite side, it would be right foot forward, cleaning with my left. It would be a clean, then an up, and step and press, okay? So it's a little bit deconstructed. We slow it down just a little bit. Then we have core rotation with the wall ball, okay? You grab a wall ball, and we're gonna have, again, this is a little bit opposite than what we normally do. Normally we go over the top leg. Today, we're going to go over the straight leg and tuck the opposite. So if I'm going to my right, I'm tucking in with my left and going over my right. and then opposite. Okay, so I'm tucking, and then coming back to center, okay? So breathing would actually be inhaling to the side, and then exhaling as you're pulling that bar back to center, or the ball back to center. That's actually where the work is happening. When you're coming from here, you're using that core to move that ball back to center and not your shoulders and your hips. So we've got to be exhaling and engaging that core as we go back to center, okay? The last move here is a plate skater with rotation. So we're here, grab a plate. This is contralateral, so I'm gonna go here, plate goes over my top leg, and I'm just going side to side, trying to keep my hips from moving too much. I'm not rotating with my hips, I'm rotating with my core. I'm here, my hips stay nice and stable, and I rotate that plate with my core. And that's it, 16 total, okay? So let's